What's up, guys? Better go grab some. We might be here a while. All right. So, while I've been gone and recuperating from surgery, there's been a lot of things going on. A lot of concerning things that bear paying attention to. So I hope that you have been paying attention. But I know a number of you have sent messages and questions and have been wanting my take on it. Not that my take's worth anything, but I'm more than happy to give it to you since you asked. I apologize for the well pump coming on. So, a couple of things have happened. Number one, the SOCOMs have pushed forward with 2 articles of impeachment on the president, and they're planning on voting on that. First off, I think it's absolute and total 100% grade A bovine fecal matter. It is an absolute farce and a disgrace to our government, the way they've done this, how they've gone about it, and the reasons that they're putting forward, when there is so much overwhelming evidence that so many of them should actually be brought up on charges of, dare I say, treason, and yet not a whimper is made. But they want to try to impeach the president on some, pardon the pun, trumped up BS charges. Now, I fully expect it to pass in the House. I do expect the president to be impeached. I do not, on the surface, think that he'll be convicted in the Senate. And that's the important part, because without a conviction in the Senate, impeachment in the House means nothing. Now, that said, there are rhinos in the Senate that do not like the president. The Republicans do not hold a large majority in the Senate. So be very wary and watch very closely if and when this gets pushed forward and reaches that point. The world of politics is a crazy thing. So do not think that it will be impossible for the president to be convicted in the Senate. I don't think it's likely, but I cannot say that it's not without possibility. So there's that. The bigger elephant in the room is what has happened in Virginia. You've got the governor and the state legislature, now that it's all SOCOM controlled, not only stating that they're going to push forward and pass some pretty draconian gun-related bills, but they are going to enforce them, and if local law enforcement won't enforce it, they'll bring in the National Guard to do it. Now, I have friends in Virginia, very, very close friends. A couple are pretty well connected in and around the DC area. While it's not time to panic, you better be taking this seriously. This could potentially, and I stress potentially, be a ground zero type event. Counties all across the state have voted and established themselves as Second Amendment sanctuary counties. Sheriff's departments in those counties have backed those resolutions they've passed and have said they will not enforce those laws within their county. The governor has said then they will be removed from office and he'll bring in the National Guard. You were talking about the governor threatening to remove duly elected sheriffs, who are the most powerful elected official in the state, from their positions by force, openly saying he will do it by force. And keep in mind that 90% of Virginia is dark red. It's only the larger cities, unfortunately, much like other states that are deep blue and full of SOCOMs, that are trying to control the rest of the state. That's exactly what our government, being set up as a constitutional republic, was established to prevent. It was to prevent mob rule. It was to prevent democracy. Democracy is mob rule, and the founders loathed democracy. That's what you've got going on. If this were to come to pass, I truly believe there will be shots fired. Now, I pray it doesn't come to this, because you're talking about a very large domino that could set off a whole lot of other dominoes. And I'm nobody. I'm just a small little YouTube channel. But if any of the prevailing heads in the state of Virginia were to ever watch or listen to this, I would encourage you to think very carefully about the road and the path you are about to set down, and think it through all the way. Because I do not believe it's going to end the way you think it's going to end for any of us. Not only in the state of Virginia, but in the nation as a whole. You could start a domino effect that you can't stop once it's started. And it will be bad. Pay very, very close attention to this, folks, and take it seriously. Don't panic. It's not Chicken Little time, but take it seriously. If there are things you need to get done, and I've been harping this like a broken record, get them done. I've been saying that the fight was going to be at the state level for well over a year now, a couple of years. I've seen this coming. The state and local level is where these fights are gonna start at. If there is food, water, medicine that you need to get it. If there is clothing and equipment you need to get it. If there's any of these or any of these that you need to get them. If there is any training that you need to get, and I am 100% sure every single one of you watching this video, myself included, there's training you need to get. We all need training. No matter how much we've had, we need more. Go get it. Find a way. I know we're right here at Christmas, and it's a tough time financially for folks, but train. If you can't go get training, at least go practice as much as you can on your own, and practice what training you've already got, no matter how little it may be. Again, it's not Chicken Little time, but you better take this seriously. The situation in Virginia is precarious at best. I don't know what else to really say about it, because it's, on one hand, it's unfathomable to even think that we're at this point. On the other hand, It's absolutely not surprising at all because some of us has been saying for years that such a thing was coming. And that's honestly kind of aggravating because years ago, when some of us were saying this kind of thing was coming, we were mocked, laughed at, and ridiculed for even broaching the subject and wanting to discuss it and saying, hey, maybe this is something you ought to think about. Maybe this is something you ought to, prepare for. Not panic, not flip out, not go, all crazy. But that's what we were made out for. The fact that we wanted to discuss the topic seriously, we were automatically ridiculed and labeled as a bunch of chicken little crazies with, tinfoil conspiracies. Well, yesterday's tinfoil conspiracy is today's reality, folks. So you better start thinking in those terms from here on out. I've said that before, but I'll say it again. In addition to getting trained, you better start talking with your family. Better start talking with your friends. And you should have like-minded friends. If you don't, then, well, I think you've already screwed up right there anyway. But get with your like-minded friends, find some like-minded friends, and start talking about what-ifs. That's probably the best I can offer you at this point. It's no joke. It's not a game anymore. It's on the verge of being deadly serious. So, again, stock up if you haven't. A lot of companies running good sales coming up to Christmas. If you've already got a good one of these, lots of mags and ammo. If there's anything you need to upgrade on it, the day may come when you sadly have to fight. The day may come when we as American citizens, armed, prepared American citizens, may have to fight again. I pray it doesn't. But I'm personally not going to be an ostrich and stick my head in the ground and pretend that it can't happen or won't happen. There are so many people in the conservative side, the right, the Republican side, the Libertarian side, etc. There are so many people that do that. It's self-denial to make them feel better, and that's why they ridicule the folks like you and I who talk about this stuff, because they don't want to admit to their own self-consciousness that this is truly a potential reality. So they go the opposite direction, pull the old ostrich move, duck their head in the sand, and no. If I don't hear it, it ain't real. Pull your fingers out of your ears, yank your head out of the sand, or whatever other place it may have been inserted. Clean them out, get after it. Now again, let me reiterate for the I'm trying to think of the right word. For the short attention span people, I'm not saying it's time to panic. I'm not saying it's time to freak out. I'm not saying that anything's going to happen. Just saying there's a good, strong possibility, and we should all be praying that it doesn't happen. But prepare for it nonetheless. All right. I think I've rambled about long enough. The cup's getting shallow. And y'all all know I don't like a shallow cup. And I think I've met my required uprightness for the day. Time to go rest the old back a little bit. Get trained. Train, and then train some more. Then practice what you trained on. Must. Get squared away on your supplies. Figure out what's important to you. Is it food, water, medical supplies, mags, ammo, guns? So that you can feed, clothe, and take care of your family and protect them? Or is it more important to go spend your money on the latest big screen TV, the latest concert tickets, the latest whatever? That's purely up for you to decide. I know what my decisions are. You have to make decisions for you. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Get prepared. I'll see you next time.